Have you ever fantasized of owning a conventional truck that was entirely imported from America and used to navigate the winding roads of Europe? Well, I'll give you a hint. Even if that were to happen, it would be a difficult challenge. However, it's improbable, but now watch a fascinating video of the highway monster with a snub nose. Today's episode will be a little different. Let's compare the trucks built in America and Europe to see their variations. Why do they have so many variations for a truck that serves the same purpose? Now back to the first exciting thing. What's the unique difference in the front-end design of American and European trucks? The front of the tractor is the main visual difference between American and European trucks, as the nose of American trucks protrude outward and the nose of European trucks is aligned with the window. The American truck design has an engine section in front of the cabin with a length of 20 feet, allowing for more room inside for sleeping space and amenities. Drivers in the U.S. can drive up to 12 hours every 24 hours, and each of their journeys spans more than 1,000 miles. So American trucks will design a space at the front of the car so they can live, and live for months inside. It has all the amenities, including a bed, television, microwave, wardrobe, and refrigerator. Some even have their own toilet. Of course, they can rest at the hotel, but many stops don't have hotels due to the long driveways and the convenient car rest. In the U.S., regulations allow for longer vehicle lengths. A long-nosed cab that places the engine out in front tends to make the cab quieter. The long wheelbase of the cab gives a somewhat smoother ride. However, the greatest benefit of a conventional design trailer truck is probably the added safety it provides the driver during a collision. With the engine in front of the driver, much of the impact will be taken by the engine, thus protecting the driver to a greater degree compared to a cab-over-engine model. In contrast, European truck drivers can't live in their truck. The first is due to design of the cabin sitting above the engine with a length of fewer than 10 feet, so there's no space to rest. But moreover, European drivers can only drive 9 hours every 24 with a maximum journey of 700 miles. So resting in the truck is unnecessary. Besides, as part of an EU reform, truck drivers were banned from spending their 45-hour weekly rest period in the cab of the truck. If they cannot be at home, they have to spend it in a hotel or guest house, and there are penalties for drivers who violate the regulation. Why is there a difference in truck size between these two regions? Well, as mentioned earlier, stricter regulations in Europe make for different trucks. For starters, a European semi-truck can only be 18.75 meters or 61 feet, but American trucks can tow multiple trailers at a time. Because of these restrictions, European trucks have to be smaller so they can tow more cargo. Third, why is there a difference in artistry and appearance between the American and European truck? Well, Americans like big, powerful things. They own pickups because they're the ultimate union between the things they love the most: utility and freedom. You can race or mud your pickup, you can start your own business or move your entire home with a full bed and a trailer hitch. And you can pitch a tent in the bed and go truck camping. Pickup trucks embody the American dream. But what about the aesthetics of European cars? Well, Europe is aiming for neat, durable, and good use. In Europe, almost every maker of vans also makes a platform version of their vehicle. They're widely used with construction firms, plumbers, roofers, gardeners, and craftsmen of all kinds. There's one very big reason for not seeing many pickups in Europe. Nobody uses such a car as a private car for hobby or leisure. They're almost exclusively used for commercial purposes. So they're used as tools, not as cars. And the number of self-employed craftsmen who may be willing to use their transporter tool also as an everyday car, it's very limited. Why do European heavy trucks have their exhaust at the bottom, or North American trucks have it at the top? European trucks are almost always COEs, that's cab-over-engine vehicles, that have no hoods because the cab is over the engine compartment. And the reason primarily is for maneuverability challenges in these very old towns with tight roads. Keeping the exhaust underneath keeps the vehicle length shorter and therefore able to make tighter turns. Running the exhaust horizontally would probably be cost-effective and space-saving. Unlike trucks in Europe, trucks in North America, as a general rule, have a hood over the engine with the cab behind it. Our roads and cities tend to have a wider road and easier turns, so hence for many years it's been common to see vertical exhaust stacks on these trucks in North America. For many years, trucks here had exhaust stacks just behind the driver door, and the shift was made to put them behind the cab for better aerodynamic and less exhaust noise near the driver. It then went from dual exhaust stack to a single exhaust stack. The change to active after-treatment systems also eliminated most dual exhaust systems. Fairly recently, the trend has been to go to a horizontal exhaust system that exhausts at the bottom as well. That eliminates a heavy bracket required for vertical mount, so they're lighter weight. That allows the cab and trailer to be as close as possible for optical aerodynamics, and they cost less, since there's fewer material for the OEM to purchase. Now observe where the exhaust pipes are situated on your truck if you own one, and tell us how helpful they are when they're placed there. What would be the better choice of brakes between American and European trucks? Brakes appear as one of the crucial factors when considering specifications of heavy-duty trucks. A lot of individuals get confused between disc and drum brakes, and we'll give you the difference shortly. But first, American trucks use drum brakes, and in a drum brake there's 9 to 12 moving parts. Drum brakes are cheaper than disc brakes. It doesn't mean you have to keep drum brakes on your truck. Besides, drum brakes have some problems like wet weather performance issues, rust, and maintenance difficulties due to inaccessibility and corrosion issues. Drum brakes are also more prone to failure than disc brakes. When the drum brake fails, it can be hard to fix the drum by resurfacing. Oftentimes, the only option is to replace the drum. That's a big surprise expense many drivers can't afford. Different from American trucks, European trucks use disc brakes. Discs are better at managing and dispersing heat than drum brakes. That means they experience less brake fade than drum brakes and offer a more consistent performance. That's because the disc is closer to the pad and expands even when the calipers are relaxed. It can even impact how to adjust disc brakes in the future. For many truck owners, disc brakes are a better option due to less maintenance. This feature ensures longer life. However, disc brakes are generally more expensive than drum brakes and therefore impact the price of the vehicle, especially new ones. For those on a tight budget, drum brakes may be a more accessible option. Why is the number of truck drivers rising in the Americas, yet falling in Europe? The American Trucking Association estimates that 80,000 more drivers are needed to make up a shortage in America this year, and a shortfall of 160,000 truckers will exist by 2030. In 2019, 72% of all freight in the U.S. was hauled on a truck, and right now, with a shortage of truck drivers, freight is being backed up at the ports. The shortage of drivers isn't new, but with the rubber band supply and demand of the pandemic, distributors are struggling to keep up. But with this shortage, now's a better time than ever to become a truck driver with job security and pay around $70,000 a year, and that wage is without a doubt the main factor. The pay rate doesn't translate to Europe, where truck drivers are actually paid low wages. In fact, while their trucking industry isn't nearly as large as the U.S., their shortage is. Currently, European truckers demand higher wages, with their salaries around $40,000, significantly lower than the U.S. 90% of currently employed truck drivers won't be in those jobs anymore. The truck driver shortage isn't necessarily a case of too few drivers, it's that too many are leaving. Many truckers are quitting because of low pay combined with difficult working conditions. Truck drivers can spend days at a time behind the wheel of their truck, spending nights in gas station parking lots or on the side of the road. Thus, the physical toll of no exercise, poor diet, and an extended period of no bathroom breaks makes truck driving a difficult job, to say the least. While many truck drivers make a decent living, it often isn't enough to make the problematic aspect of the job worth it, and they quit when it gets to be too much. With a shortage of truckers, shipping times are going up, and chances are the package you're waiting for is stuck on a boat. So the next time you order something, no matter where you live, think about the trucker who's getting it to you. So we've just gone over some of the differences of the trucks in Europe and America. However, have you questioned whether American trucks can operate on European roads or vice versa? Well, let's respond to this quickly. Poor you. This is very challenging. Forget it until the truck was more than 25 years old. The modifications you'd need to carry out would make it uneconomic, despite the fact that the UK truck has all the safety features a US truck has, just done in a way that doesn't have US DOT approval stickers, plating, or engravings. Even then, it wouldn't be legal to use as a truck. And much the same applies to US trucks in the UK. They can't be used as tractor units. Although people can import them for personal use as a non-commercial vehicle or for conversion to recovery vehicles. However, if it was intended that the UK truck was to be re-exported within 1 year, you'd probably be able to temporarily import it. If you didn't export it before the year was up, you could find U.S. Customs seizing it for destruction, assuming they found it. You'd also be subject to prosecution. How bad it is. Recently, all the information about the difference between the trucks of the America and Europe regions, along with the answers to the questions we received from the audience. Do you own a truck? Let us know how you feel about using them. And finally, don't hesitate to leave your comments below if you have any thoughts about the contents of the episode. And if you found today's video interesting, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, and share the video. We hope to see you again soon.